I can absolutely keep a hummingbird as a pet, bro.
All right, enough. There are very specific US laws governing animals, and bird laws is a specialist subset. The Animal Welfare Act, the Lacey Act.
You guys, I'm serious. I have huge news here.
The Wild Bird Conservation Act, Eagle Protection Act, in Chapter 3, US Code 703, and the Migratory Bird Treaty Act 1918 forbid capture or possession of hummingbirds or gulls.
I'm having a baby!
What, like a bird baby? Dennis almost listens to his sister, but the guys make a convincing point. New names from the writer's room, Becky Mann and Audra Seeloff this time. Both will make hefty contributions to Series 6. Rowell Einhorn is the director for the first time here and in others through Series 5. No Matt Shackman this season. In Series 5, Fred Savage has gone from the producer's credits, so he will direct 5 of the 12 episodes.
Do you have any history with drugs or...
Maybe we should think about rehab.
Any family history of mental illness?
Frank, you are the frog kid.
Well, my brother's a dick, if that counts.
Watch your ass, new meat.
You want to have 10? You want to outdo that bitch?
It's been a season, but only a few episodes since Home Makeover, so sequel vibes.
What happens if you accidentally hit a child with an umbrella?
Batman Returns is tame compared with Dennis's free-for-all hypotheticals. And we've got Frank's battering ram. Brian Unger stars. The lawyer's second appearance has him ambitious, but larger. He has potential as the gang's end boss, epitomised in his toe-to-toe with Charlie. The lawyer as a total bully. Sometimes he gotta be, and Dave gives good tenuous grasp on barely anything. Frank comes out with the words of Stephen Yaxley Lennon level xenophobia. Talk of good realtor, bad realtor, illuminates the Mac and Dennis bromance. The mutual self-congratulations of two sociopaths in cracked positivity. Charlie has been reading law pictures. I find such joy in the simple wording of,
He totally besmirched me today, and
to these, Mac responds with homophobia and Dennis with transphobia. Irony as deep as a deep swimming pool. Honey and vinegar get a honey of a deal. This relationship is further exposed when Mac becomes a more violently unhinged of the pair, thus proving his worth to Dennis. It's a switching of their roles as glimpsed in Liberty Bell, a dangerous osmosis of the psychotic attribute which Dennis is totally getting off on. Frank sways him to mixing up the baby angle through storytime constraints, but this can also be read as how pliable the pair are to being followers. Unger's lawyer's contempt for Charlie is tangible, and supreme too, calling his bluff with delish malevolence. Intelligence is an earned asset, with the burden of carrying the stupid and violent. The lawyer sees through this cutesy art house outsider to the spoiled, pretentious stalker. The challenge to a duel and Charlie's efforts wriggling out of it are a lot of fun.
wealthy homosexual couple that
Have plans to flip this fine house. Charlie has a less well-constructed plan about being the father who's in hiding.
I'm bored! I'm bored!
Frank has already ruined the initial house flip scheme. It's a lot of fun seeing the gang refuse to accept defeat.
Plus, there's a good deal of mountain bike in your axle here, bro.
The Gang Hits the Road is a good episode behind a gold streak, a collection of skits framed around Frank's want to see the Grand Canyon. It's not the destination, it's a journey. As well, because the gang don't get anywhere, sucking any super finale with them. So it's a story about the worst of road trips. Dialing Are We There Yet? Up to 11. The trailer serves as a breakout room, impractical, unsafe, but every kid's want, or mine anyway. It's a star's green room. Sheer pushback on Dee's arrogance of buying a car discounted with no CD player, backseat drivers, irritating effing kids.
Gimme.
Mac and Charlie at the Italian market gives us some classic lines. The haggling, the review of pears, well, they do taste like sand. And culinary analysis of stickers.
I eat stickers all the time, dude!
Frank's consistent as a guy who wants to get there on time. Dennis and Dee attracted to the shiny of shopping opportunities.
Yeah, there was a bunch of wires hanging down and I was trying to put them back up and...
Best of road trip of hell expands to another seating switcheroo. and the tribalism in Dennis's den, which looks sweet. I love my coffee and a cosy space. This is a mellow, affectionate little scene. It highlights how Dennis and Charlie can enjoy contentment. However, you shouldn't let a bird drive. Up front, road trip games take a disturbing turn. Dennis's employment of the gypsy slur for market traders leads Charlie into a thought hole involving witches' hypnosis.
What is this strange feeling?
I feel so strange inside.
It's so strange but appealing.
And Mac catches a piss break. The camp cookout does not go well. Now let's switch places again.
Yeah, I did knock either Pat down and I cleared him.
This is a Day Howard and McElhenney script directed by Savage, and I love there's time taken for the gang to react with sheer incredulity and laughter to Mac's self-delusions.
What's going on?
Charlie's fear of leaving Philly sees the gang dumped, minus Dee's car.
Oh, I thought Matt cleared him. I didn't think there'd be a problem.
Despite each mile being something quite wrong, the gang have a good time. This episode bonds them. By its end, they're a better functioning, more positiver unit.
What time is it?
Oh, goddamn!
Are we not there yet? Here goes. Frank seems a little muted this episode, but shows a prerequisite belligerence. I suspect he's baked. Dennis can't be a mere passenger.
A transporter of gods!
He's hosting this party. Mac demonstrates he's far from being the alpha male. Charlie demonstrates his usual tolerance for fumes. As per the bar, he's keen to take the risks that innovation calls for. And Dee's love of Monster Energy drinks will inspire Frank. This time it has saved lives. Dennis prematurely cries shantytown. By the 16-minute mark, there will be 3 RVs, but on the way to there, we see Frank park up his RV, and the loyalty card scheme will definitively grow the final influx. Dennis's damn xenophobia has screwed us again. The reveal of Frank hanging is wicked funny. Kudos to set coordinator Adi Serraro and DeVito stunt double Michael Munoz for launching the laughter eruption. And the gang just watching. This was directed by Savage, script by McElhenney, Howard and Hornsby. It's amusing to me Frank imposes executive bonuses only here when he's being milked dry. It's clear the outcome to downsizing. The decision on D was made before the conversation began.
Really looking forward to firing her.
Acting like a predator to your own daughter? Well, Frank has his Trumpian empire moves on. The staff interview uncovers the mechanisms behind Paddy's solid world building. Charlie has a 12th of July grasp of and operation of green energy. Bikers. Still funny. Sacking, subletting, treachery and betrayal with the runt of the litter left homeless. Master of debauchery Frank with knives and bar tools is a horror show formula. Dennis's power card pitch has Max supping from his spoon. His pig-headedness cracks open a fountain of laughs. It's argued coupon deals don't create more unique purchases, but more coupon purchases. I'm not sure Mac and Dennis even get that far. Got a second appearance of Uncle Jack, played by Andree Friedman. At odds with other appearances, Friedman makes it difficult to impossible to read this scene with any innocence.
You ever seen wrestling on television?
I am well aware of what wrestling is.
And we love a bit of Bonnie, a per-season regular around here. Dee is along for the ride when Frank pitches to the vegan, who probably eats shoes. Danny plays it like Frank loves the act of destroying with knives under legitimate auspices of selling. Carnage is expected, yet a blast.
It's a deep cut.
Dee fails to take over. The grift story is confined to bad acting. It sure looks like Frank is at rock bottom. Underneath the bridge, Tap has sprung a leak. This might be the introduction of the maritime lore associated with the gruesome twosome. A neat follow on the artistic thread or stanky germ rope.
Crab.
We're crab people now?
Yes.
You want us to become crab people? That's your new business plan?
We'll live and die by the crab, D. We'll eat off the fat of the sea. Hey, will you help me toss some of these babies back? Because legally we're not allowed to eat those.
Charlie has a good understanding of mollusk law as he instructs a newest member of the crew.
Clickety-clackety, 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 clack. I gotta get out of here!
The pacing is curious in how 3 minutes from the end, Mac and Dennis's big scheme hasn't been shown to be implemented, nor Frank's return to solvency. The Paddy's dollars appear to have Dennis and Mac's photos on them. Dennis dropped the ball, but hey, bailouts for the least deserving and screw the runts. Gods, realism hurts. Intervention carves out its infamy in Frank's race to the bottom. In a way, it's a culmination of his arc from season 2, while crystallising all we already know about him in a too tangible form. Mac is too stupid to care, but those closest are rattled by the Frank wake. We get a minute's backstory on new, unsupporting malignant Gail the Snail. The Reynolds fake guilt, though, for salting her is side stitches splitting. Mary Lynn Rajkub gets an abundance of first lines to have fun with, care of writers Marder and Russell. Mary Lynn's TV work is extensive. I had no idea she was a lead on 24. I've seen her as a semi-regular on the Larry Saunders show and Brooklyn Nine-Nine. At the time of intervention, she was preparing for her solo comedy show, Mary Lynn Spreads Her Legs, described by the LA Times as cheerfully vulgar and breezily obscene. But it's DeVito who steals the show, along with the makeup and wardrobe department. He's a ball of spit and stink. Mac is a great wingman, not so clean himself. Susie Nakamura plays a concerned therapist out of water. She has no idea.
Why would I need to be armed?
Nakamura had a large run on Ken Jeong's Dr. Ken and recently on Armando Iannucci's Avenue 5, a show I'd like to make a video about. This scene is loaded with fantastic ideas, arming everyone, chasing Frank with a net, and of course, wines and soda cans. Frank and Mac en route to Donna's house has some lore behind it. DeVito and director Fred Savage hit the bottle hard the night before and got very little sleep. This was an early morning shoot, so there's definitely some method acting happening here. And word of the shoot got out to a Fox News crew who got pushy with the want to interview Danny. They found the actor keen to stay in character. What an episode to try this, interviewing Frank at his weirdest. There's a link in the description to that.
But we literally have shut down production. All these guys.
Speaking of lore,
When was the last time we played night crawlers together, Frank?
it's a fan favourite detail and a window into their intimate cohabitating relationship.
What it sounds like is that you two crawl around like worms in the night.
You got Mac's pancake mess and broken windows, the Elmo t-shirt and mashed handies. It's hard not to rate this a solid 10 out of 5. Sober practical heads prepare for Frank's intervention. It's busting at the seams with excellent lines.
A roast?
And deliveries.
You are annoying!
Centred around the Frank-Charlie rift and the gang united against not one but 2 opponents. Even Mac's neediness does have limits.
Ah, get out of here! Oh, he's got the Go, Snail! Yeah, that was a terrible experience for me, by the way.
Of course it was. Nobody likes salting the snail, but she gives you no choice.
A fistful of interventions. As I peruse what 1,000 episodes inevitably titles blur, married Dennis already, a waitress from coffee shop. And I say my friends and I could write this something Charlie Revenge, oh Hornets, and the guys and the dumb bird.
Where?
A church.
Which one?
The nearby one.
The nearby one?
Sunny blurred masks, oh my. We're in the middle of a golden run of television, of this show, this magnificent show. Artemis is Frank's booty call. Caitlin Olsen, a stunner then as now. Dee's ugliness subverts the flesh. Frank breaks the egg of getting Charlie a date and, via Hornets and Straws, a Charlie Kelly top 10 entry. Michael Henny breaking. Milk steaks in the pantheon of sunny foods. The little high-pitched verbal inflections. His unbounded knowing optimism.
Little green ghouls, buddy.
Don't write goals.
I'm not.
In 95% of shows, Dee's party invite would be in a regular joint, maybe a studio set. This subverts a form, causing a traffic jam and relegates it to the background.
Okay, calm down, dickwads! It wasn't that bad!
Married moves fast, an escalating unwrapping of gifts, treating the viewer like they're some kind of messiah, a window into an absurdist sex life, the Oscar winner in the category of grunting, Ma Kelly's high-pitched drunk threats. What surprises me this time? It's a phenomenal D episode. She gaslights a waitress using transference from her own history of drug abuse and sex work.
All right, listen, you gotta be on your toes tonight, okay?
I'm filing this episode under category Greatest Scenes but can't remember episode title. Dee's blind date, also known as The Waitress Gets Public Humiliation and Battery, has Frank and Artemis heckle. Mrs. Mack's paid promotion bypasses verbal cues, and Mrs. Kelly randomly fires in a one-and-done punch bowl strike. Philadelphia's expert in bird law enjoys an evening with a legal peer. What could possibly go wrong? Demonetization? The creators know their talent so well. In a concept that should be all about Charlie, it's in fact about Dee. Charlie's story is kept to the back, with knowing the actor's ability to make even smaller comic beats hilarious.
I'll say I met a nice guy in the bathroom and we traded shirts.
Dennis and Mac are this subplot's protagonists, but mostly the straight men, until they can be bystanders no more.
Make a move, Maul. No, don't.
Briefly, hamburger and onion sexcapades while the boys get armed. Brad is unaware of the danger because Dee and Charlie's stories have been kept separate. H also stands for
How much cheese is too much cheese?
We're 3 minutes in and I've not even mentioned Wasp Honey, the Sherlock Holmes look, bacon bits falling out of Artemis's hair, or the Wendy's incident. In the writer's room discussing Charlie's favourites, someone yelled milkshake and Glenn Harden misheard milksteak. The YouTube channel Binging with Babish has a guide on how to cook this and jelly beans raw on the side. We open this one as Dennis tests the court's record system on account of being there. I don't care about sport. It's worth mentioning this is the first time the Philadelphia Baseball Stadium hosted the World Series. More on that soon. At the bar, there's grain alcohol and plastic petrol kegs. Riot punch. I drank cider from these, but not directly. The courthouse framing, the gang unified, including Dee, with a plan, evokes feelings of much later seasons. The best laid plans of Mac and men. So what about this secret tunnel? 2 blocks from Citizens Bank Park on Packer Avenue sat the South Philly Stadium Holiday Inn. The hotel was built in 1974, predating the stadium by 3 decades, so it's only 5 years old at the time of this episode, which tells us the gang are trying to get into a shiny build modern venue to be the gang. Above the stadium is a mechanical replica of the Liberty Bell, which rings and lights up after every Phillies home run and victory. The Stadium Holiday Inn was demolished 2019 to 2020, and in its place is a casino. The tunnel appears to be sheer urban myth, though I'm not sure whether the myth predates this episode. Something else influenced it. Vet Stadium was the immediate predecessor to Citizens Bank Park, located just across the street. If we believe Ray Garvey, the urban myth grew out of his experiences. In his 2021 book, The Secret Apartment, Vet Stadium, a Surreal Memoir, Garvey recounts his experiences as a cashier. He wrote that he had his own office, keys to an obscure stadium entrance, and lived out of a home-fitted part of the concession stands. He claimed this was the location of half-time parties, allowing wives of Eagle players to wait there after games, and there's reason to believe Garvey. Although he forbid photographs, many reliable people corroborated the story. Jumping in front of cars definitely feels like a Charlie one too. Maybe Frank originated it. Maybe that's how he did.
Thoughts?
Yeah, I've been thinking about it.
Yeah.
Ryan Howard, right? What?
Like if it's me, I'm going Chase Utley 100% of the time.
The Chase Utley sequence has classic transference hopes around Mac's daddy issues, and the cut to Dee reading it in court is marvellous. Utley would respond to Mac's letter some years later. This episode boasts some great visual comedy. The mascot challenge is a highlight of this. It's a rare instance of someone giving it back to the gang and doubling down. Mac and Dennis argue core strength, and David Hornsby and Rand Linehorn are loving these cut twos. The disdain for Eagles fans works much better than on first viewing, knowing Michael Henney and the show's love for the team. Same vein as Mac berating D. A linen closet for the secret tunnel.
They want you to think it's a linen closet, Frank.
Classic conspiracy theorist talk.
Can we not base our decisions on what does and doesn't happen in episodes of Scooby-Doo? God damn it!
Examining Gas Crisis, I considered Charlie as Shaggy as Scooby's conduit who acquired the power of speech. And the lore became the gore. So the gang spent 6 days in a linen closet, which makes little peanuts out of boat jail. The similarities aren't surface level. The 2008 World Series was the only one to involve a mid-game postponement and resumption. So 2 days in the linen closet, the game was called off due to heavy rainfall, making Dee's question more pointed.
Yeah, and the only way we got out is some maid came after 6 days to get fresh towels.
Yeah, how does the hotel not run out of towels for 6 days?
And Charlie is marched out with his countersuit. Defense isn't a grade A episode, despite several iconic scenes and memorable lines. There's a lot of context hidden from viewers who don't give a shit about the subject, something Liberty Bell is unfairly accused of. The Sony podcast coverage has a lot of insightful stuff on this. This episode is another 20 minutes we get to spend with the gang. On the back foot, victims of their insane psychological labyrinths manifested. They become their own minotaurs in the maze. We get older and our time is less, and sunny episodes too, and I'm thankful for these douchebag jabronis brightening things up. One question remains. Where did Frank leave the tickets? Answer in the comments, please. Looking at this episode's title evokes all vivid imagery. Cricket facing some disdain and vile injuries, the trash man, Rowdy Roddy Piper, the first appearance of Ben the Soldier, Eagle Men, Frank's presenting of jean shorts, and Artemis in seduction mode. There's a lot of memories for 20 minutes of television. Let's slow it down and pick out details. Like Frank, who with disgust recalls seeing a wrestler
Pick up a trash can, smash it into a guy's head, blood went everywhere.
Okay.
In this clip, Hulk Hogan is up against evil Russian Nikolai Volkov. Dee announces she's dating a soldier, and I swear there's some sound engineering going on to enforce the deadly chill sweeping through the bar. I am not partial to wrestling, yet there's inclusivity galore here, with ideas and twists that feel fresh, and too many good quotes to mention.
Girls are tricking troops on the internet.
It's blonde, and yet it's silken like that of a Chinese man.
We're the Pigeon Boys! Pigeon Boys!
That is Hulk Hogan's signature look. Blonde Chinese hair and the skin of a hot dog.
It's a Marta Rizal number, directed by Einhorn. The story moves quickly, securing venue and Maniac in post-credits scenes 1 and 2. Travis Schultz as Ben the Soldier Smith, brimming with positivity first time. Taking a moment, Ben is a fantastic creation. He's seen war in Iraq to the point of injury, albeit a twisted ankle at the bus stop, yet he's still naive and full of hope. It's a contrasting demeanour that he maintains as one of the lead abused by the gang characters. Ben wears those jean shorts in every appearance to come. We also get minor props in an event poster. At its centre, a photograph which seems to feature Mac and Dennis in a very homoerotic clutch, and maybe Charlie's art skills. Wriggling with uncomfortableness as Dee makes her excuses, Frank at least has standards. Apparently, the Maniac's story of hard times is similar to that of the lead character in The Wrestler, a film which aired the previous year and which Piper had strong love for. I'm quite partial to this deleted scene of the Maniac impressing his terror upon the gang. Enter the trash man. It's certainly an attribute of Frank that when he gets an idea in his head, it's often stuck there until he can exercise it by performance.
Look at the garbage.
Frank!
The guys' dynamics are worth scrutiny this episode. Their course has been driven by Charlie bringing Mac in through the nature of their boyhood friendship. They generate enough enthusiasm to sweep up Dennis, the idea appealing to his sense of self. heroism, narcissism. He's not hesitant until...
Now that seems like we're just singing about the lifestyle of an eagle.
Yeah.
And see how Mac and Charlie taking the objection with want to compromise. And that's enough for Dennis. They're all on the same page and equal in power, which is actually quite rare. Desert Grape, shows up, hormones at peak level. The scene builds on her character. She's direct, doesn't lie to herself or others, and she's singularly driven. The maniac, on the other hand, is confused. He hates him, loves him like his kids, and is living from his car and foraging for chestnuts. The maniac's opponent is selected by men who have hunted him before. Missing a tooth and smoking, but cognizant, fresh clothes, clean hair. We'll soon sort that out. It's a quick scene and the other parts play quick too. Frank is a ref, Dee to sing, the chicken boys, and the maniac dispatched. Apparently there was a whole monologue written for Piper, but the driver took off ahead of cue. Presenting the Taliban. Well, Frank isn't impressed. The lyrics to Birds of War has Charlie all over it. Don't you mess with his heads now! And the choreography is delightfully a mess. The audience gravitate to Dee up until the point where she switches the national anthem to Kiss from a Rose. Cricket gets his due revenge on the gang with the same move twice in a row. As deadly as Frankie Fast Hands was, he's got the same ferocity here. A real crowd pleaser. The Kitten Mittens advert is worthy of its meme status. Charlie Day inhabits the landscape of Charlie Kelly's cognitive processes, his eagerness and love for his art. The selection of cuts, visual and audio is perfectly blended.
Kitten Mittens!
And cute, but with the gang's sickness in choice of stock footage. And the Mittens do silence the gang. There's a merch fair coming to the Sheraton Hotel, and Dee wants in on the opportunity so as to get some juice from her contract, which Mac eats. I feel moments like this is why Dennis keeps Mac around. Frank proposes hard-boiled eggs by Paddy's, demonstrating his connections are 2 steps behind. Charlie and Dee visit the lawyer. It's one of many great scenes defining his character. He finds the gang infuriating, but chooses instead to explore the comedy that comes from how pitiable and mistaken they are. And every so often he collapses into exasperation. He forgets himself and tries to speak with them as if they're normal. He's talking to hear himself to maintain his sanity. Paddy's thong shines another coloured light on Mac and Dennis's relationship.
It's a visual stimulant, bro. I'm not wearing these because I'm comfortable. I'm wearing them because I want to turn you on. You know what I'm saying? Paddy's thong, dude! Paddy's thong!
I think the reason people don't talk about this scene is it's not a patch on Dick Tile, which becomes the stuff of Sonny's legend. And dicktile.com is still here. The site includes an in-universe promo video with stylized poor resolution and creepy Dennis. Frank's merch idea isn't developed to prototype, so that's a live gun in Mac's face. Charlie and Dee are in spy mode. The lawyer bears his soul to try to move them on quicker. He will learn to know better. Mac offers a defense of the American dream as parasite with a string of the worst analogies courtesy of writers McElhenney, Howerton and Lee Sung-ying. Coincidentally, Yin's prints are all over this gold run. The writer on Gas Crisis, a staff writer across Season 4, an executive story editor for Season 5 and the Christmas special. Frank loves a scantily clad lady in Entourage. It's a sales point the rest of the gang take up. Dennis wants a patent on his lady, then pitches a frame bang, and I don't know where to start on that. The lawyer is at his lowest ebb, bringing his legalese to remedy the needs of all the opposing parties. And if Frank has brought bullets made out of tequila, can we really call it a mediation? Until the Philadelphia Small Business Investment Conference. Bad cuts, minimal relation to the product, the fourth wall shattered, and steamrolled over.
Nudie pen.
Hey!
And some happy memories. Quite a lot of prop work in this, it's worth clapping. I don't know if that's down to production designer Michael Scott Cobb or work across the art department. The lawyer swoops in victorious, defeating the gang with his superior legal mind and taking 100% of all Paddy's merch cash. The crew will do their best to devalue that stake. The lawyer knows sometimes you've got to do things pro boning. And this episode is dedicated to David Zdunich, Ernie the Barfly, who appeared in 14 episodes including this one. Sonia was his only credited acting role, though it said he was an extra in Pineapple Express, Pirates of the Caribbean, Ghost Whisperer, and a bunch of other stuff. He was previously guitarist for 1960s outfit Dave and the Customs, playing with his brother, and the surf band had a small hit with fast-paced Arabic-sounding instrumental Alibaba. Perhaps a first in the show overtly addressing its repetition to propel Mac and Dennis from their self-congratulatory patterns.
It's funny because I feel like you guys are two codependent losers.
At this point, Mac and Dennis aren't not clones of each other. Mac is most needy. Directors Fred Savage, IMDb credits writing to McElhenney, Howerton and Martyr, though on screen and in the podcast it's credited to Martyr and Rowell. It's very readable. Dennis has spent 5 seasons luring Mac into a sexual relationship, only for him to make a point of losing interest. I'll cut straight to it. He's grooming Mac. Let's get anal about video choices. In Predator, Bill Duke plays Mac. After failing the team, he is one of the first characters to die at the hands of the alien, one who collects trophies. Dennis might reason the SFP's stark realist look may have been too uncomfortable for our Mac, who is growing in awareness of him and himself. I probably should have heard of the Transporter movies. Luc Besson, Jason Statham, he's a sort of special forces postman. I don't know if you need to see one for two, but there's something of note to Dennis making this choice. In Transporter 2, the lead turns down a woman and is framed as gay. In the film's Either Side, he is portrayed as heterosexual. And there's nice details later in the episode where Dennis is watching TV, clearly confused.
You know, man, if you don't want to watch the movie with me, that's fine. I will watch it by myself. God damn it!
He is also caught in a rut, but not as much as her new cat. No scenes in Paddy's this episode, instead giving us a view of the gang's home life. Is this a first appearance with a tow knife? It does reprise Frank's love for trash.
Mac is being annoying as shit.
This episode is a real builder for that. His want for input on the film, reporting Dennis missing, obsessing about Charlie's apartment. Mac is defined by his neediness, and that's mirrored by Dennis's want to be a focal point. Dennis defined by breaking up with Mac, the singular wisdom of his cat advice, the environment defined by anything that's happened recently in Dennis's life.
Just eat it with the skin on.
I do not like it with the skin, D. I'm not allowed to eat it with the skin. I'm not allowed.
Charlie takes a cat problem from him, being an expert in cat physics. A cat to lure a cat is an analogy of what had happened with Mac Dennis, and the mere suggestion of codependency agitates Dennis, who's unaware of his own codependency at this time. It's fascinating, as if he and Mac are detoxing from one another. Mac receives a video store guy review.
Beefcake?
Total jerk off.
And Mac finds a new room in Charlie's apartment where a mattress could fit, one of two. There's a new couch which will have to be returned.
This little lady is a calico cat. All calico cats are female.
And according to the trivia in Always Sunny Wiki, this is mostly true. It's a genetic thing. Charlie knows cat law. Dennis has swallowed apple seeds. Dee and Charlie are split on whether they're poisonous, and this points to more interdependency among the gang. Although Charlie feeds superstitiousness of seeds, I'm tracing this information back to Mac. The potency of the apple as forbidden fruit of the Garden of Eden is too specific to Mac and his literal understanding of the Bible. We get another first in the naming of the gruesome twosome.
Gruesome twosome in effect.
In the podcast, the creators talk about how this episode is mostly without plot, a character-driven piece. They played it straight as a drama and referred to it as a romantic comedy. It's typical how the first glimmer of reconciliation comes of insulting D, and it's got Mac's delusion that he's a man of action while Dennis revels in his cerebral superiority. The waiter here isn't Art Guigino's usual. He's credited as manager, played by John Ponzio, the stand-in double for McElhenney. Last seen a few episodes ago as a Philly frenetic, he'll also end up in a gimp suit in Mac Finds His Pride and as Paddy's jumper. And Dee's bird on a wire plan is destined for failure. Caitlin Olsen is all fire and angles, something of a mini breakdown here. Always fun to watch. And I'm quite partial to the deleted scenes cut from the end of the episode referencing Schwarzenegger and Carl Weathers' biceps show from Predator, a knowing moment of homosexual flirtation. The Dennis System, one of the most iconic episodes, top of many favourites lists. The first half is structured around a presentation with flashbacks to the playbook in action. The D may as well stand for dominate, a key facet of this pseudo-guru mindset. It's kept moving with sinister breaks of the fourth wall and the gang heckling, but supportively. Kaylee, played by Jill Latiano, is Horton's soon-to-be wife. The PUA pickup artist works with psychologies of seduction.
Mac has a very special place in my system.
A wingman is often a feature of PUA methods. By giving Mac his sense of involvement in the scheme, his value is demonstrated. Mac is so cloying that he has to be engaged physically to stay out of their way. And another motif of the PUA is to institute several venue changes as part of establishing emotional connection. The pacing in this is incredible. The subject matter isn't a pleasant hook, is it ever with the gang? So the pacing is ratcheted up to 11, 12. Solid chiaroscuro lighting on the payphone builds on the predatory nature of the seducing manipulator.
For sake, you're a complete sociopath.
It's a hilarious point of Dennis's narcissism that we're expected to believe he's carefully lettered every page of the flip chart this way, with such neatness. This episode satirises a PUA scene with a sophisticated academic approach. Dennis, in Potential Killer Identity, represents a tactic called going caveman. This is a reduction of verbal contact, his boyfriend self, in order to escalate physical contact. Another term is negging, backhanded compliments to weaken her confidence with the aim of rendering vulnerability to seduction. The lighting technician for this episode is Thomas P. Marshall, and he's really earned his paycheck. Hawning in this lexicon is trading or discarding an unwanted woman as proof of the PUA's own social value. And with that, Dennis is cemented as a sitcom horror legend. Sonny has always shown great ability packing several stories into one. Structurally, we get ostensibly a great episode, followed by its immediate sequel and economic bridge.
Yeah, I got caught up in a story, but I'll be done pretty soon.
Okay.
Dennis's grandma's GP is Dr. Toboggan. Mac has swooped in on a Dennis system with Frank, call me Mantis now, feasting on scraps. This implies the system has already leaked, making Dennis's presentation a big waste of time, thereby humiliating him. They have demonstrated value. It's a joy to see Travis Schultz again as white bread Ben the soldier. Dee is Dennising him, but ironically, with the PUA seeds planted, she thinks Ben is Dennising her. And Caitlin Olsen again going beyond the pratfall to the twatfall. Charlie enhances his standard stocking with a full home repair package, which will have interesting repercussions for later on. The gang regroup, pulling their collective failures, and Dennis takes charge with a happy accent of acting and editing magic. Dennis allocates roles in a way which, broadly speaking, covers the first 4 steps of his system with some overlap, and that culminates in service of himself. Welcome return of mail aboard and delicious deadpan deliveries. Charlie fails to grasp game basics. Ben displays childlike sense of fun, and Frank is woefully misdressed.
Actually, it's Mantis.
Mantis Toboggan, MD.
The mission goes as well as expected, with Donkey Brain's twisted grasp on seduction utilising HIV more as a hook for reduction, separating entirely. The weakest of the litter causing catastrophe is enough for Dennis to burn everything to the ground. And this is a foolproof system of how to seduce an audience, the Sunny system. Stimulate cognitively, uniquely approach, never be complacent, nourish laughter, and why? Ayo!
I mean, it's how you tell the story that makes it good.
We open with a retold tale of locked in a stairwell with a tramp who's a key holder. Good, but it doesn't meet Dennis's standards for storytelling. Frank has sausage pockets, which doesn't get enough love. Mention of Shyamalan piques his interest and Dennis's too. D sharing always risks the involvement of others. D illusions of grandeur. Mac and Charlie have a terribly lazy idea, not a great idea. They want Dolph Lundgren. The Swedish all-rounder is mostly associated with action films in the 80s and 90s, which are hot spots for the guys. Though his career was still strong, Diamond Dogs and Missionary Man both appearing in 2007. They want Lundgren down on all fours. Trivia note here, Dolph Lundgren has both a bachelor's and a master's degree in chemical engineering. Quite the doctor.
What if he can smell a crime before it even happens?
I'm a cop!
And what if his entire head is just one big nose? His one big nose on Dolph Lundgren's body.
Dennis doesn't give a shit.
I need a prototype.
The routinely fed-up AD is a blander antagonist than usual. Standard. Actor Lex Medlin has less to do. He's currently a series regular on CSI Vegas. There's a nice juxtaposition in the extras tent with, on one hand, Mac and Charlie's screenplay and a corpse at the back. Surreal reality meets bizarro gang psychology, worlds of fiction and fact rubbing up, about to bleed into one another. Mac and Charlie's petty arguments over actor v character name gives insight into their boyhood relationship. It's a very frank want to be the boss with no interference from his underlings, a quota which Dennis more than fulfills.
We show it. Full penetration.
Oh, he fills.
Full penetration.
And that's not just all. The crime penetration.
Crime, penetration, crime, full penetration, crime, penetration. And this goes on and back and forth for 90 or so minutes until the movie just sort of ends.
Is easily the highlight of this episode. Lesser spotted Dennis brilliance that's up there.
That is brilliant!
There's potentially missable asides, always fun to track these, like Easter eggs.
Okay.
The gang in the library. I'm waiting for the unabridged version. Ageism, racism, Pakistan, India beside one another, close enough to go back and forth. A history of hostility since 1947. 3 major wars. No biggie. I love that Faisal isn't a stunned bystander, but digging their pitch. This episode is by McElhenney, Howard and Lee Sung-yin and Einhorn, but in my opinion it doesn't leap off the screen like you'd expect it to. It's so-so. Actually, the episode is sabotaged by the gang. They're locked into static characters, writing the writers into a brick wall.
Oh, because it's a zombie movie. It's like the Shyamalan twist. I figured it out.
Charlie's poster has 4 different fonts on it. The bottom one is Star Wars. No Comic Sans. And is that a hang-dong in his hand? Part of the joy of forgettable episodes is rediscovering them. Dennis has a mother of twists in a goldmine he's been working on right in front of our nose. As ever, the gang comes undone by the proximity to the chaos energy of one of their own.
Why are you wearing skinny jeans?
Because they're hip!
The gang getting hip with the Philadelphia flip. Check out Harden's little look of consternation when Mac thinks he's still the leader. And it's time to celebrate a return to greatness by demonstrating intimidation and showing off the physical prowess. Dennis marking his turf, most unsportsmanlike. Head-first failure D receives some brutal put-downs.
I don't have bison fingers.
Oh, no, yes, you do. Your mother had to have a C-section because of those hands.
She's a year out of practice. Dennis's peer group is 15 years out.
Come on, it's homophobic. I mean...
Trivia: Dennis's fraternity is named after 3 frats in Revenge of the Nerds. There's all sorts of inversions this time. Frank is leader of the student gang before he be turned on. An inversion of Dennis and Dee's mom is dead when college kids were tortured in the Reynolds party house. Maybe tales of those horrors leaked out and found their way here because these kids are already feral. In what seems like no time at all, the plot fractures off a tangent, practically a Sonia attribute, that is never held in by one agreed upon story defined by title or setup. An episode called Frank's Cake Bake-Off might end up in a submarine. Dee becomes a lady, might be a story about McPoyle's manure farm. Creativity is engineering external manifestation of characters who have lost the plot. However, there are other schools of thought.
Goddamn savages. I mean, I came in there right. It's idiots! Savages, idiots!
Yeah. Jesus Christ, dude.
Legend quality meltdown. Charlie plans to lay down some goodwill hunting, but holes in his memory of the film's story makes the plan collapse. And halfway in, their tactic of dividing and conquering the different story threads is a good one. Nonetheless, they're all over the place with the smell of imminent disaster. This was not my college experience. At the fuck it party, Mac and Charlie find their academic selves. At Artie Sloane's house, what's going on here is, I think what's going on here has to be Frank's plan. Dennis is on autopilot, mouth open, rage spewing, probably has been this way since the bar. This is twice as long as the scream he subjects Wally to, just punctuated. Real life basis here, Charlie Day and his college friend did the shower curtain cutting to get some revenge on some other students. Revenge on other students is a big part of college.
Wow, Frank, that Ritterall is having a very interesting effect on the way you think.
And of course, with swapping the character to story threads around, they're taking brutal revenge on a guy who's a seeming innocent in it all. The colours in this are incredible. Reignites painters Nancy and Robert Knight and makeup department head Connie Callos have really painted the town red and many other colours. Charlie gets to draw out his Goodwill Hunting speech to an economics major, which cites Harvard historian Gordon Wood.
Does no one know who Gordon Wood is?
Frank is completing fraud on the bar owner's tax records, which is truly bizarre. And Dennis's crowning visual glory is a moment when I'm so glad to be rewatching this.
Wow!
Dee's tryout success unlocks a new level, beating children, and Olsen gives some worthy manic flailing about, and it seems Dennis's lust for revenge and a shared motivation blinds him to her feebleness. But no, just the audience until the twist of the poisoning, and a smart little coda in Sloane returning, furious the gang have forgotten him. It's 15 years later, but this is one I'd love to see a sequel to. The gang have frat house privileges, their alumni enemies were truly worthy of them, as dark a mirror image as the McPoyles, Cricket and the Snail. What a show. If you haven't seen my video for A Very Sunny Christmas, it's already on this very channel. Why don't you sign up to invigoron.com/AndyLuke. A special thank you to all the investors in this positive triangle opportunity whose names are on screen now.